Hello and welcome to another messed up tale, folks. For tonight, I have yet another hidden gem for you. Have you ever thought your quiet neighborhood could also harbor some less than stable individuals carrying some dark secrets of their own? Join me as I recount the chilling events that unfolded one hot summer night in the land of the rising sun, more specifically somewhere in Thuggery Prefecture, Japan. This story, of course, was shared, found, and translated by yours truly, somewhere on the deep and cavernous bowels of Ni-chan, otherwise known as 2chan, that is, an anonymous Japanese message board. Thus, it's a coin toss whether or not what you are about to hear has any merit or truth in it. And of course, viewer discretion is very much advised. What started as drunken argument ended in bloodshed and left our community forever changed. This is a story of alcoholism, degeneracy, thuggery, unexpected violence, and the eerie silence that followed afterwards. Although perhaps the latter is a good thing. Either way, brace yourselves for a tale that might make you question your sanity as well as the safety of your own community. Something's wrong in Thuggery. Living in Thuggery, a sleepy town in Thuggery Prefecture, Japan, one doesn't expect much excitement. Nestled between the Sea of Japan and the lush Chugoku Mountains, our lives are usually quiet and uneventful. That was until last summer, when something happened that shocked me to the core and made me question everything I thought I knew about my neighborhood. My name is Takahashi Nakamura, and I've lived in the same apartment complex for the past 10 years. It's one of those old, concrete buildings from the 70s with creaky stairs and peeling paint, but it has character. The neighbors are a mixed bag, but we all get along well enough. Until the night of July 12, 2022. It was a sweltering evening, the kind where the air feels thick and heavy. I had just settled in with a cold beer, looking forward to unwinding after a long day at work. That's when I heard a commotion outside my window. At first, it was just muffled voices, but then it escalated into shouting. Curiosity got the better of me, so I went to look through the window. Below I saw 4 men, clearly drunk, stumbling around and arguing loudly. They were trying to get into the building but didn't seem to know the code to the front door. Great, I thought. Just what we need, another bunch of rowdy drunks. The leader of this ragtag gang, a particularly obnoxious man, I later learned was named Shinjiro. He was banging on the door and yelling obscenities. His friends, equally plastered, were egging him on. I was about to close the window and ignore them when I saw my neighbor, Kenji Saito, appear at his window. Kenji is a quiet guy, keeps to himself mostly, but I know he's a bit of a hothead. He started shouting at the group to go away, but they weren't having it. Instead, they began taunting him, calling him names, and threatening to break down the door. Now, Kenji isn't the kind of guy to back down from a fight, especially not when he's provoked. I saw him disappear from the window, and moments later, the front door creaked open. Kenji stood there, holding his dog's leash in one hand and, to my horror, a gun in the other. The drunks hesitated for a moment, probably as surprised as I was to see Kenji with a gun, but Shinjiro, the ringleader, just laughed and staggered towards him. "What are you gonna do, old man? Shoot us?" He slurred. Kenji shouted something back, probably a warning, but in the heat of the moment I couldn't make it out. What happened next is burned into my memory. Shinjiro lunged at Kenji, pushing him back. There was a struggle, and then a deafening bang echoed through the courtyard. Shinjiro fell to the ground, blood pooling beneath him. His friends, no longer laughing, fled in terror, leaving their friend to bleed out on the dirty concrete. I was frozen, unable to process what I had just witnessed. Kenji stood there trembling, the gun still smoking in his hand. The police arrived quickly and the scene was chaotic. Kenji was arrested and I was taken in for questioning as a witness. Over the following days, the story unraveled. Shinjiro and his buddies had come to our building to borrow money from one of their mothers who lived on the second floor. Too drunk to remember which apartment, they had resorted to harassing the entire building. Kenji, it turned out, had a history with violence. He had been on the edge ever since a severe head injury a few years back, which probably explained why he reacted so drastically. The court case was a mess, with Kenji's defense arguing self-defense, and the prosecution painting him as a trigger-happy maniac and a menace to society. In the end, Kenji was sentenced to 5 years in prison. The judge ruled that the threat to his life wasn't immediate enough to justify the shooting, especially since Shinjiro was unarmed. Kenji's dog was taken in by a neighbor, and the apartment next to mine has been eerily quiet ever since. The whole incident left a scar on our little community. The courtyard, once a place where kids played and neighbors chatted, now feels haunted by the memory of that night. Sometimes, when the night is particularly hot and still, I think I can hear faint echoes of that argument, the desperate shouting, and the gunshot that changed everything. Living here, I've learned that even in the quietest places, darkness can lurk just beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment to explode. And now, every time I hear a knock on my door after dark, I can't help but feel a shiver run down my spine, wondering what new nightmare might be waiting on the other side. That's my story, and I wish I could say it was all a bad dream, but sometimes reality is more terrifying than any nightmare.